This is Jazz Haven, broadcasting live from studios in downtown New Haven, Connecticut. At WNHHLP and on the web at newhavenindependent.org and at the jazz station WETFLP, South Bend, Indiana, streaming worldwide at Jazz Radio WETF.org. You got Stan, the man with the jazz.
I want to write an image, like a log cabin quilt pattern, and stretch it across all the lonely people who just don't fit in. We might make a world if I do that. I want to boil a stew with all the leftover folk whose bodies are full of empty lives. We might feed a world if I do that. Twice in our lives we need direction. When we're young and innocent, when we're old and cynical, But since the old refused to discipline us, we now refuse to discipline them, which is a contemptuous way for us to respond to each other. I should imagine if nature holds true, one day we'll lose our hands, since we do no work nor make any love. If nature is true, we shall lose our eyes, since we cannot even now distinguish the good from the evil. I should imagine we shall lose our souls, since we have so blatantly put them up for sale and glutted the marketplace, thereby depressing the price. I wonder why we don't love. Not some people way on the other side of the world with strange customs and habits, not some folk from whom we were sold hundreds of years ago, but people who look like us, who think like us, who want to love us. Why don't we love them? I want to make a quilt of all the patches and find one long, strong pole to lift it up. I've a mind to build a new world. Want to play? sa boo ba ba boo ba ba boo boo ba da 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 sa da 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 do 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 da do 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 da sa da 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 sa da 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 ya boo boo ba do da ya do 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 ya
Greenwich, Connecticut, Sabina Coomson Davis. Where is the Love is the recording, and it came out late last year, 2024. Tune Abina's Bop, and she and her husband, Steve Davis, put that together. He's there on the trombone with Rick Germanson piano, Nat Reeves on the bass, and Willie Jones III played those drums. And we started Jazz Haven with tenor saxophonist Javon Jackson from his 2021 recording, The Gospel, according to Nikki Giovanni. And we heard Christina Greer doing the spoken word of Nikki's poem to the Negro Spiritual, Wade in the Water. Jeremy Menager there on the piano, David Williams bass, McClinty Hunter on the drums. Now, Javon Jackson, tenor saxophonist, was a member of Art Blakey's last Jazz Messengers. He was there from 87 to 1990. In 1992, he played in a movie. He was a saxophonist, Illinois Jet Cat, in Spike Lee's film Malcolm X. And he is now the chair of Hartford's Jackie McLean Institute. That's at the Hart School of Music, University of Hartford. And he's been doing that since 2013. Coming up today on Jazz Haven, we got the JH Jazz calendar for this Labor Day week. We have new music from a Connecticut tenor saxophonist with a tragic story. We got new music from top saxophonist Joshua Redman and a new young jazz guitarist But first, holding down that #1 jazz slot in the USA this week and for the previous 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a row, that's Tyreek McDowell.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. There was a time when peace was on the earth. Love, joy, and happiness would reign, and each man knew his worth. In my heart, how I yearn for that spirit's return, and I sigh as time flies. There is a place where love will always shine, and rainbows cast a shadow of a love so divine, and the glow of that love will light the sky up above, and it's free. Can't you see? Come with me. The Creator has a master plan. Peace and happiness to every man. The Creator has a master plan. Peace and happiness through all the land. The Creator makes but one demand. Peace and happiness through all the land. The Creator has a master plan. Peace and happiness through all. is a place where love will always shine, and rainbows cast a shadow of love so divine, and the glow of that love like the sky up above, and it's free. Can't you see? Come with me. The Creator has a master plan. Peace and happiness
saxophonist Jimmy Green off his latest release, As We Are Now. Jimmy Green, and the name of that tune, he wrote it, called Praises. He resides in Newtown, Connecticut, and his 6-year-old daughter, Anna, was a victim of the mass shooting at Sandy Hook School on December 14th, 2012. Ahead of that, we heard from the #1 jazz recording, #1 jazz recording in the USA. It was Tyreek McDowell, and it's something about senses. I have to check that one again. Open up your senses. Tyreek McDowell, #1 jazz recording for the past 3 weeks. The Creator Has a Master Plan. And featured on that on the tenor sax was Tomoki Sanders. And he's the son of the late, great Pharoah Sanders, who wrote that tune. The Creator Has a Master Plan, with Leon Thomas back 56 years ago in May of 1969. And it was recorded on the album Karma. And we got the jazz calendar. The Jazz Haven Jazz Calendar is a quick rundown of some of the jazz in the area this week. It's Wednesday, August 27th, and tonight you can join jazz saxophonist Mark Kaplan and his Straight Ahead Jazz Quartet at Gulf Cove in North Haven for great music, great food, a great bar, and some awesome atmosphere. And it all starts at 7 NMCC. No music cover charge. Each and every Wednesday at the Owl Shop Cigar Lounge and Bar in downtown New Haven, it's Kevin St. James and his band from 9 until midnight. NMCC. On Friday, August 29th, join jazz historian and curator Frank Cochran at the Institute Library in downtown New Haven for the final episode of the August Blues. And it's all on vinyl. Bring your own munchies and drinks to share. It's free, open to the public, and donations are accepted to deter expenses. It all starts at 5 p.m. NMCC. And this weekend at Connecticut's premier jazz spot, the Side Door Jazz Club at the Old Lime Inn. At the Side Door, the weekend starts on Thursdays during the summer on the patio, and at 5:30 with dinner at 5 p.m. and the Paradox Organ Alliance at 5:30. Then on Friday, it's pianist Paul Cornish and his trio with Nazir Ebo on bass, on the drums, and Jermaine Paul on bass. And on Saturday night, it's Yoko Miwa and her trio with Will Slater on bass and Scott Goulding on the drums. Both nights, the music begins at 8 p.m. And Friday on Saturday, it's that historic jazz jam at Cafe 9, downtown New Haven, 4 to 7 p.m. All musicians are welcome to sit in after the first set. That concludes the jazz calendar for the week. Go to jazzhaven.org for the complete calendar, updates, and ticket information. So fit some jazz into this Labor Day weekend. It's America's only original art form. Tenor saxophonist Joshua Redman. the Shoreline Jazz Quintet, celebrating the music of Pat Metheny. And that's the latest release, the tune there, Bright Size Life. Pat Metheny, obviously. And we started that set with saxophonist Joshua Redman, who on his latest recording plays both tenor and soprano saxes. It's called Words Fall Short, and it's on the Blue Note label. And tune we heard was So It Goes. And he had a guest tenor saxophonist there, so there were two saxophonists, Melissa Aldana on tenor, along with Joshua, and Paul Cornish on the piano with Nazir Ebo on the drums. And you may recall Paul Cornish is going to be at the Side Door Jazz Club this coming Friday night with his trio, which includes Nazir Ebo on the drums. Also on that Redman recording was Philip Norris on bass, and again with Melissa Aldana. It's Jazz Haven in this new jazz age, the Roaring 20s 2.0. More than 100 years of jazz, America's art form. And that's new from young jazz guitarist James Zito, New York based. And this is his first release. It's called Zito's Jump. And the tune there, Bird in the Wind. And it's his composition. And of course, we have one of Connecticut's finest musicians accompanying him there, Nick DiMaria on the trumpet, with Chris Lewis on the tenor sax, Luther Allison piano, Rodney Whitaker bass, Joe Farnsworth on the drums. Keep your eye on this one. James Zito, Zito's Jump. And we want to thank you for tuning in to Jazz Haven, broadcasting from our beautiful studios here in extremely comfortable downtown New Haven, Connecticut, streaming at newhavenindependent.org and the jazz station WETF-LP, streaming at jazzradio.wetf.org. It's been a pleasure being your host here, Stan the Man at the helm, and we hope you've enjoyed the music. We've had a great time bringing it to you, and we look forward to the next time when we'll see you on the radio. Taking us home is brand new music from two saxophonists, Vincent Herring on the alto, Eric Alexander on tenor, with Mike Ladon piano, John Weber bass, and Louis Nash on the drums. It's called Split Decision on the Smoke Sessions label, and this tune is a Hank Mobley composition, Impressions.